Also.
Recording is on.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Abolari Emmanuel, and I am your host for tonight. So, welcome to the Scale It Clarity series. Um, the Clarity series is our weekly program where verified experts on the Scale It platform share practical wisdom and they give us practical knowledge, and you get the opportunity to book a one-on-one session or join their coaching after the session. So it's a great privilege that we have gotten to have experts come to speak to us every Saturday. All right. So for tonight we are going to be focusing on growth, sales, and go to market strategies. Growth, sales, and go to market strategy. And that is because the expert that will be speaking to us tonight is a growth, sales, and go to market consultant. Is the founder of Navelo Consult. And Navelo Consult is a growth consulting firm that help businesses accelerate revenue, improve sales performance, and execute effective go-to-market strategy. So they partner with founders, startup SMEs, and growth stage companies to identify opportunity, solve commercial challenges, and implement practical solutions that drive measurable business results. Now, their major focus includes growth strategy, sales consulting and enablement, go to market strategy, revenue growth planning, business development, process improvement, and execution. So at Navelo Consult, they believe sustainable growth comes from combining strategy with execution. Now, their approach is hands on, data informed, and focus on delivering outcomes that matter. All right. So, basically, in summary, our, our expert tonight is going to be taking us through the journey of what, how, and how to approach growth as a business owner, how to approach sales as a business owner, and how to go to the market with our product, our brand as a business owner. So, and our expert tonight is the person of Mr. Ugona Ugu. All right. Very soon, I'm going to give him the allow him to take over the session. So just for a form of housekeeping, I would just like us to know that this session is meant for everyone, every business owner, every founder, every SME, everyone involved in SME. If you're a growth stage founder, this is highly recommended to you. So either if you are watching this as a replay or you're on this call right now, I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen attentively. Every time we are gathered like this to learn, there are so many information online about growth, about sales, about you know how to take your product into the marketplace. But one thing I can assure you is that the information you have online cannot be compared to when someone that is an expert in that field is holding your hands and guiding you on what to do. I think that's a rare privilege that many founders, many business owners do not have. They just rely on the general information that they can find online, and they do trial and error. They try this, they try that, they try um, every form of advice they can get online, right? But somehow, if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, then they go back to square one. But what an expert will guarantee you is that they are going to shorten your journey. They are going to help you make less mistakes, and they are going to hold you by the hands and show you the ropes and how to navigate the tides when there is storm. All right. So experts help you in all these ways so that you will not have to um, go through a trial and error process. You try this, it fails, you try that, it fails, then you come back to square one. You are wasting resources, you are wasting time, and you are wasting the time of the people that are expecting or that believe in your product. And that is why we have put all this put this series together, and this clarity series together, because we understand that what business owners, what founders, what SME people in the SMEs really need is clarity. Once you can get clarity of where you are, you can determine where you want to be. And once you can get clarity of how to navigate the tides or how to navigate the rope, then you begin the journey to your destination. All right. So tonight, like I said, I want you to hold your you have your jotters, you have your pen, you know, write something down. Don't assume that you already know it. Okay, make sure you pay attention. All right, so let's get into it tonight. Remember, tonight's session is about sales, growth, and go to market strategy. So let me hand over to Mr. Ugona Hugo to take over from here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We really appreciate your presence tonight, and we are looking forward to an amazing session with you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mano, once again. Good evening, everyone. Kindly confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, welcome to this session. Mr. Manuel has done a lot of introduction, so I wouldn't dwell much on that. We only have an hour to spend, 12 minutes gone. So I'll just dive straight into it. And if along the line you have questions, just note it down, and you can ask at the end of the session, so that way helps us to manage our time. So just as a word of brief introduction, while I try to share my slides. So when I was thinking about the whole clarity series, and what I can discuss with everybody that will be here present, or people that will be watching the recording. So I asked myself, one question. And what's that? What's the biggest reason businesses struggle to grow? That was the question. And from my experience in working across SaaS, doing enterprise sales, doing go-to-market execution, I've realized one thing, and most businesses don't struggle because they lack talent, funding or ambition. Basically, struggle because they lack clarity, and that is why this clarity session, it's a very important one. I know we've done on different industries, or regardless of the industry, regardless of the top subject topic, the word itself, clarity, is very important, because in anything you do in this life, you need clarity. So also as a founder, a business owner, a professional, somebody just doing life, a youth, young person, a husband, a wife, you need clarity in everything you do. So tonight I would like to share how clarity influences three areas that determine whether a business grows or stores. And what are those three areas? Talk about strategy, talk about sales, and you talk about go to market. Just a moment while I share my screen. Just hold on a moment. Mm. Let me know where you can see my slide.
Absolutely, can see it.
Okay, great, great. Clarity, the foundation of sustainable growth. So I'll go through this quickly. Like I said, if you have questions, we have questions and a bit of a discussion at the end of the session. If you want me to go back to any slide, I can go back to the slide. I just want to make sure that we manage our time very well. Like I was mentioning earlier, clarity is very important. So hence this topic, clarity, the foundation of sustainable growth. How and what are the areas we'll be looking at? Like I already mentioned, how better strategy, sales, and go to market decisions drive business growth. So why does growth stall? Why, people start a business, they do what the combination and permutation, they do what the all the strategy deck, they do what the all the projections, and they're like, okay, we'll launch in January 2026. By the end of Q2, would have achieved this. By the end of the year, would have achieved that. By January 2026, we launch this version, we launch that version. And at the end of the day, by the end of the year 2026, they've not even achieved half of what they set out to achieve in Q1, let alone the remaining targets for the year. So, what causes business growth to stall? Why does growth stall? So, growth problem are rarely caused by lack of effort. Many people will say, you're not putting enough effort, lack of talent, lack of ideas. Those are not really what causes growth to stall. They are usually caused by clarity. So growth isn't created by working harder, it's actually created by thinking clearer. So you have to think clearer. Okay, you don't wake up on January 1st, or you don't end December by making 1001 New Year resolutions. You scatter everything everywhere. This year we are going to do 1 billion in revenue, we are going to do 100 million in revenue. No plan, no clarity, no, even the plan is just ambiguous. They're just writing something down, but there is nothing concrete on how those things are going to be executed. So clarity is very important. So before you chase growth, you need clarity. And what are the areas you need clarity the most before you start chasing growth? You need clarity on your customers. You need clarity on the problem you are solving. You need clarity on the solution you are providing for that problem. You need clarity on your messaging, and you need clarity on your go to market strategy. So, people, you know, small business owners, founders are fond of this, and that's why sometimes people found a product that doesn't go anywhere. Like, literally, before you know, everything has packed up, everybody has gone, and they'll recycle, they'll go and start looking for another idea. You don't build a product and start looking for the market. You think of the market, you think of a problem, then you build a solution towards it. I don't know if anybody gets what I'm trying to say, but I'll repeat myself. You don't build you don't build a solution and you start looking for market and customers. No. You start from the customers. You start from the problem you want to solve. Okay, let me take washing machine for example. The person that invented washing machine probably looked, takes a lot of time to wash clothes with hand. People stress a lot to wash clothes with their hand. Is there something we can do in such a way that you know if we use that thing for washing of clothes, it makes it easier, makes it faster. And the person ended up coming up with a washing machine. And the moment the washing machine came out, everybody embraced it. If I ask us on this call, who here on the call has a washing machine in their house? Maybe probably everybody on this call. Even if there's anybody on the call that doesn't have, they wish to have, maybe they are saving, or they feel like, okay, maybe it's me, I'm fine, but someday else I'll. So the idea is, you just see washing machine and you're like, what is even the problem that this one is solving? I don't understand. What is this in use for? Can somebody come and explain to me? The problem he was solving was already clear. The need was there. The market was there. And today there are different makes. There are different brands of washing machine. So I use this example so that I can be clear for us to understand. So if you already have a solution, then you need to ask yourself, you need to probably go back to the drawing table just to reconfirm that you actually have a problem you're solving. And this problem are the target audience? Like, who am I solving these problems for? Here in Lagos, you have shutlers, you have Uber, maybe in some other states you have it as somebody sat down and thought, okay, not everybody have cars. Sometimes people want to move from one place to the other. They want a bit more comfort. Maybe they can just order a ride. The ride will come. And when that thing came on board, it literally wiped away the normal taxi. It literally took them out of the market. Because instead of dressing up from your house, going to a taxi station, or maybe having somebody's number to call, you just book online and somebody comes and pick you from your gate or from wherever you are. That is somebody profiling solution to a real problem. Sometimes the solution we are profiling, the problem is just in our head, or the problem is just among us, the problem is just our family. Like, there's no real market, there's no big market for that problem. Like, there is no a large number of there's no sizable market that has that problem. That problem is probably just in our head or amongst our friends. So even while you start building, you're pitching your idea, you're sharing your idea among your friends, you're like, this is fantastic, this your idea is great, it will sell. However, the problem just lives within your cycle. It lives in your head. And at the end of the day, you put in all the effort, you come out and nobody is buying, nobody is even answering you, nobody's, and you begin to wonder, where did you get it wrong? So you need clarity on the customer, you need clarity on the problem before you now get to the solution. It's not the other way around. You don't start from solution. Then your messaging, that is under go to market. So when you're not talking about go to market strategy, what is your messaging? What is the effort you are putting in? You need clarity on all these things. Without clarity, effort becomes expensive because you keep going round and and not making any effort. The growth triangle. I like to this, if you don't take anything away from this call today, always try to remember the growth triangle: strategy, sales, and go to market. Strategy: what happens on that strategy? Know where you are going. Literally, just know where you are going, know what you are doing, know where you are going, know what the whole thing is about, what is the whole whole business about, what is the problem you're trying to solve, what is the plan, how are you starting, if you are producing something, how are you sourcing your raw material, how are you transporting it, if it's a digital product, what is your distribution. The best product on the market, the most popular products in the market today are not the best. It's distributed products. I use HR tech for example. Because of the the innovation and the invention of the AI and all that, there is a lot of solutions around HR tech. So the same thing with fintech. Fintech is even worse than HR tech. They are most popular, they are heavily distributed. So there could be product A and product B that have 100% the same capacity. But in the market, only product A is known, product B is not known. That distribution power. So your strategy covers all this. The sales turn conversations into customers. So how do you go about your sales? What is the plan? What is the strategy? What is the ideology? What is your plan on for sales as the owner of the business, or just to hire somebody and dump it on the person? As the owner of the business, you're the number one salesperson. As the owner of the idea, as the custodian of the idea, the custodian of the business, you're the number one salesperson. So you cannot just dump it on somebody else, and you don't even know what is going on there and all that. Then go to market strategy, of course. Go to market strategy. Somebody will be like, go to market and sales not the same thing. It's not. The go to market strategy encompass everything that has to do with your messaging, your sales, marketing, product validation, how to reach the right customer with the right messaging through the right channel. All these things are what encompasses your go-to-market strategy. And growth only happens when all these three things work together. If you are doing well in strategy and you forget about sales, you're on your own. If you are doing well in strategy, go to it, and you forget about yeah, your own. Everything needs to work together for you to achieve your desired results. The next question every business must answer: who is our ideal customer? I've already mentioned some of these things already. So just kind of reiterating it because they are very important. As a founder, as a business owner, who is your ideal customer? What problem are we solving? These are the questions you ask yourself as a business. Who are our ideal customers? What problem are we solving? Why should customers choose us? How will we consistently acquire customers? How will we keep them? You see, this last part is as important as acquiring customers. There are some businesses that require that require that customers, come back, repeat customers, repeat transactions, and that's actually a better business model than one off. For that, at the end of the day, it depends on the product and services. But you need to build your product and services around subscription, repeat transactions. That is how you can, consistently generate revenue. That's how you're able to it's easier for you to consistently predict your revenue growth. So, but sometimes people are just hell bent on how to, bring customers, and sometimes 100 customers come in, they transact, and only 20 comes back. Only 30 comes back. What happened to the other 70? What happened to the other 50? Why did they not come back? Nobody even thinks about that. But just to quickly go back to the top, and I would like every founder business owner on this call, I would like us to answer this question on the chat, or if you are watching online, you can answer yourself from wherever you are watching. On a scale of 1 to 10, how best can you answer this question? If somebody just wake you from sleep and say, who is your ideal customer? What problem are you solving? Why should customers choose you? How will you consistently acquire customers? Because this third point too is very important. Sometimes people are not able, there's no repeatable strategy, there's no repeatable pattern. The whole thing is just haphazard. So I spoke to a founder earlier this year. So he was saying that they were looking at, how to structure their inflow, how to structure their customer acquisition so that it becomes predictable. It's not haphazard. It's not, do one customer this month, do two customers in 10 years' time. It was just a bit haphazard. It wasn't predictable. So he said they were looking to explore ideas, strategies, and options on how they can stable the customer inflow so that you can consistently acquire customers. You have a funnel, you have a pattern, you have a strategy that allows you to consistently bring in customers to the business. And of course, why should customers choose you? You're probably not the only one offering that service or selling that product. So what is different about your own? Why should they leave other people's own and come and buy from you? And that is why I want to quickly speak about marketing here. This is one place where marketing does a lot of magic. You see brands like MTN, you see brands like Coca-Cola. No matter how popular they get, they never stop advertising. Because the day you stop advertising, that is the day your business starts dying. So depending on the stage of your business though, but advert is very, very key. It's not just about bringing customers, it's about being on the faces of your customers. It's about creating awareness about your product. It's about showing all the value proposition that your product or services offer. If you run Airbnb, you are not the only one. If you run Shortlet, you are not the only one. If you say you want to go and make toothpaste, there are 1,000,001 people already doing that. If you offer services, there are probably other people already offering that services. So why should customers choose you? What is unique about your service? If customers interact with you, what is that thing that will make them to come back? What is that thing that will make them to want to come back and do business with you? Think about maybe some of the brands that you love. Why do you repeatedly go there? If you have a Netflix subscription that you renew every month, why do you consistently renew that Netflix subscription? If you renew your Canva subscription every month, what is it that you do with Canva that makes you every month you want to pay for it? If you use ChatGPT and you are subscribing for it, what is that value that you see in it that you like to keep subscribing every month? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself concerning your own business. Should you why should customers choose you? Not just about, you feel you are the best, you trying to polish everything. Ask these real questions, get real answers. And sometimes these questions, as you ask yourself, you also find a way to get feedback from customers. If you ask yourself, what is the problem that my customers are facing? What is the issue that my customers are facing? What is the solution that my customers are looking for? And you ask yourself these questions,
Can you hear us? Can you hear me rather? I think we lost you. Okay. Before he comes back, hope we understand what he has been saying so far.
how can I make their life easier? From there, you come up with an idea. Then the next question, which I also mentioned earlier, is now, is there a large enough audience for you to stress yourself about it? It's not maybe you are solving a problem for a community of less than 50 people and you spend a whole lot of it. If it's something that you can just doesn't take your time and energy, you just do it on the side, it's fine. But you cannot set up an entire business just to solve a problem for a community of 50 people. And lastly, on this point, is your solution global? The world is a global village. Is your solution global? Can you reach beyond Nigeria? Can you reach Ghana? Can you reach other West African countries? Can you reach South Africa, Egypt, Morocco? Can you reach US? Can you reach UK? So better questions like this create better decisions for you as a business owner. Now, sales is a growth skills. Sales isn't just for sales people. I already said this earlier. This slide just emphasizes that most business owners used to think, I'll just, come up with the idea, do the framework, do the investor stuff, seek for money, do the arranging of, or, one or two, oversee what is going on. Then I will dump the sales on somebody else. It's a lie. It's not going to work. The founder, the business owner is the number one salesperson. Any other person you're employing the person to help you. You need to learn it. Sales is a skill. As a matter of fact, it's a life skill. As a business owner, as a founder, as a salesperson, as a professional, even if you're a professional in finance, in that your finance team in your company, you need to be able to sell yourself. Otherwise, you won't get promoted. You'll be overlooked. Your work will not show. So, sales is not just for salespeople. Founders sell vision, they sell product, they sell opportunity, they sell partnership. As a founder, you need to be able to sell the vision of your company. You need to be able to sell your product or your services. You need to be able to sell the opportunities that are bound, especially when you are trying to get in the first set of employees. Maybe you don't have money then to pay them, or you're not able to pay them as much as maybe the market is demanding. You need to sell them a vision, sell them an opportunity, sell them, this company is growing. Come and join me. Let's do this together. So, how are you going to achieve that if you don't know how to sell? You need to sell partnership. Then, for professional sales skills, like I already mentioned, they sell their skills, their ideas, they sell leadership, they sell value. If people don't buy into your ideas, they won't buy into your solutions. Clarity creates trust. People don't buy what they don't understand. They buy what they understand, what they trust, what they believe will solve their problem. You see, this trust, as a business owner, as a founder, if you cannot, what's the word now? If you cannot get your potential customers to trust you, they won't do business with you. They won't do business with you. You won't have any business. Your business will close. People do things based on trust. People buy from people based on trust. People do business with people based on trust. Now, if you're anybody in the financial space or who has played in the financial space to understand that somebody can be doing a transaction in the bank and the bank is charging the person like 7.5% on that transaction. There's a fintech company that wants to do that transaction without a charge, but that man will still stick to the bank. Why? because that person has grown to trust the bank. Shebi is Access Bank. There is one branch in my street. Even if I travel from Lagos and go to Bayelsa State, there's Access Bank in Bayelsa State, so I can walk into their branch. So that builds trust. That gives accessibility and trust. They would rather do business with bank, allow bank to take their charges, than give their money to a fintech company that has only one office in Lagos that can close anytime, any day. So trust is very important in business. You need to be able to find a way to build trust between your business and your potential customers. Otherwise, nothing for you. And how do you do that? Of course, through your messaging, through your positioning, through your branding. Overall, great sales conversations focus on understanding, clarity, value, and of course, trust. So you need to, your messaging needs to be clear and easy for your audience to understand. It needs to carry clarity. It needs to show value. Value cannot even be overemphasized enough. Your audience, your target, your potential customers will buy into value. People don't give money for what they don't see any value in. Even you today, maybe you are going somewhere, you flag Okada down, you say, how much is that place? The bike man says it's 1,000. You be like, 1,000 K. This place that I can even trek to, you are telling me 1,000. You are not willing to pay the 1,000, not because you don't have 1,000, but you don't see a value in that 1,000 you want to pay. I mean, why will I pay 1,000 for a place I can trek to? That's just an example, but that's just to show you how value. So sometimes somebody might want to buy something in the street. Maybe that stuff is like 500. They'll be like, who even knows whether this one is original or fake? They don't see value. They don't want to invest their money. They are not sure. There is no trust. There is no value. They walk into a supermarket. That same thing is 1,000. They will buy it because they believe the supermarket one, it cannot be fake. So so at that point, trust is playing a role. They feel okay at this point. I think is enough value for my money. They pay. So people spend money when they see value. So somebody can tell you, Mr. A can come and want to sell something to Mr. B, and Mr. B will say, but this thing is too expensive. I cannot buy it. Mr. C will come to sell that same thing, and Mr. B will buy difference value. Mr. B has value in what Mr. C wants to sell to him. But when Mr. A came, Mr. B did not see enough value because Mr. A did not sell value. Mr. A was selling futures. But Mr. C came and sold value to Mr. B and was able to get Mr. B to part with his money to buy whatever it is. Common growth mistakes. These are things you need to look at. Selling to everyone. Your customers cannot be everybody. There are some people today, you ask them, who are your ideal customer profile? They will tell you everybody. It cannot be everybody. The real sense of it, everybody needs your products. You have to target. You cannot sell to everybody at the same time. You cannot, you are the founder, you have 5 months, you are just 1 year old or 2 years old and you want to sell to everybody. Haba, it's not possible. You have to target. So if somebody asks you what are your day customer profiles, you cannot tell them everybody. Somebody asks you what are your target markets, you cannot say everywhere. You have to start from somewhere. Even if your product is a global product, you have to start from somewhere. So even if, let's say in Nigeria we have over 200 million people, and it's okay, our market share, let's say, can we sell to 2 million Nigerians? Can we sell to 3 million Nigerians? That's a bit of a targeting. Maybe your business, you can only sell to people in Lagos. That's a bit of a targeting. Or you can sell to everybody, but you want to start from Lagos. That's targeting. When you start from Lagos, you are making wave, you are growing. You now have examples you can refer to. You now have validation that you can maybe expand to Abuja. From there, you keep growing. Hiring salespeople too. I already spoke about this one before. You don't hire salespeople when nothing is working yet. They are not going to do magic. Except you are hiring somebody that is extremely experienced and the person is coming to collaborate with you to make it work. The person is not coming to take over everything. The person is not coming to take over a system that is not working. You hire somebody that is not experienced, or that does not have that level of experience, and you dump everything on them, and 6 months down the line you sack them, you say they don't know how to sell, whereas it's not their fault. You dump them into a system, you dump them into no system. You're asking them to sell what has not been proven, what has not been sold, no feedback from customers, nothing. Weak position asking them to sell. So they are definitely going to fail. Scaling broken system. You don't scale broken system. If the system is broken, fix it before you scale. If you've not fixed everything yet, don't hire a salesperson. Except you're hiring someone that is highly experienced that's coming to collaborate with you. If you have broken systems, fix it before you start scaling. Scaling does not solve problem that you are supposed to fix. You're having a problem, you fix it before you scale. Focusing only on acquiring customers. I also hinted on this earlier. You don't focus only on acquiring customers, you also focus on customer retention. Customer retention is more important than acquiring new customers. You acquire new customers, you service them well, you retain them, you treat them nice, they will refer you. That one come in, does well, you treat them nice, they will refer you, and the chain goes up. You reduce over time, it will reduce the money you have to spend on customer acquisition. Growth doesn't fix weak strategy, it amplifies it. So if your strategy is poor, your management is poor, everything is poor, and you keep growing like that, the more you grow, the more the weakness of your strategy is amplified, the more the problem is amplified, the more the wala is amplified. I'll give you a simple example. If Obi and Sons Limited have 10 staff and they have a culture problem, the way it will reflect will be different from the way Dangote that has over maybe 5,000 staff, if they have a culture problem. Literally everybody in the whole country is going to shake up if there's a problem or culture bridge. But B and Sons have only 10 people, they can easily contain whatever happens. So growth doesn't fix weak strategy, it only amplifies it. Before your next business decisions, you need to ask yourself this set of questions. What problem are we solving? I'm reiterating this because it cannot be emphasized. Who are we solving it for? You see, what problem are you solving first? Who are you solving it for? Who is the customer? Like, if you launch this your product today, who will buy it for you? Who are the people that are willing to part their money for your product? What's preventing growth today? So if you are struggling to grow, what exactly is preventing you to grow? Like, these are not surface questions. These are questions that you reflect on, deep thought question. Like, you sit down, you and your team, or you and your founders, or the strategy team, the leadership team, you sit down and you reflect on it. What's the next highest impact action? What's the next thing you need to do that will impact the team positively? Then you overall, you don't be in a hurry to move. Like, let the whole let not what is bothering you be to move faster. Focus on getting clarity. If you get clearer, moving faster, it's a very simple thing for you. Then finally, most businesses don't fail because they lack potential. Fail because there's too much how do we instead of that, what needs to become clearer? We are going back to clarity. Clarity is very important. Create focus. Clear message attracts customers. Clear sales conversations build trust. Clear execution delivers results. Growth isn't created by working harder. It's created by thinking clearer. I'll take that again. Growth is not created by working harder, it is created by thinking clearer. So, clarity is very important. That is the bottom line of our conversation. Clarity in all this area that we've discussed. And just also to add, if there's one thing I'd like you to remember from today's session, is that growth isn't created by working harder, it's created by thinking clearer. I just mentioned that. So before you hire another salesperson, before you increase your marketing budget, before you launch another product, pause and ask yourself. Some people now, if you check their LinkedIn profile, they are co-founder or founder or CTO with 4 5 different startups. Sometimes I see those kind of profile, I'm wondering, Oga, madam, how many things only you doing at the same time? So before you launch another product or launch another startup, or just pause and ask yourself, what needs to become clearer? Because when strategy is clear, execution becomes easier. So when your messaging is clear, customers begin to trust you. I already mentioned it, just reiterating. And when your direction is clear, growth becomes sustainable. You need a growth that is sustainable, not a growth that is like when you light all these fireworks. It goes up, and after a while, once it's finished, it dies off. Let that not be the kind of growth you want to have. Let it be steady growth, steady momentum, steady growth, and you keep growing. It helps that when you even encounter challenges, you're able to overcome them and you keep growing. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. So we'll take questions now.
Oh wow.
Does anybody
Thank
have any question?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us this knowledge, right? So I want to start from the last place you spoke about the need for clarity in terms of who are your customers, customer retention and whatnot. I work in a company where we have to get customer on a daily basis. Like we have to get
Okay.
customer on a daily basis, and to really achieve that, the, because of the vast competition in that particular ecosystem. So most persons that you are even talking to already have your competitors' products. They are using your competitors' products, and you have to
Yeah.
still meet up with the how do I put it, your
Target.
target for the day. Now, in this in as a founder or as a manager or head of department, as the case may be, and you understand that most persons, especially when you are just coming new into the market, most persons already have, they are using the product of your competitor already, and now you want to get these customers to yourself. How do we balance this in terms of giving people a target to meet up with and all of those things? Because it becomes a problem, right? Because most marketers can't meet their targets, either because I won't say they are not good, they are good, but the fact that this is a new product and getting people to trust you is one of the most important thing you must know how to do. So how do we balance it?
Well, so in terms of setting targets, meeting targets, of course it varies with teams, varies with managers, and it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge most of the time with sales teams and having targets. Sometimes very high target that is can be a bit of a mountain to climb in terms of meeting them. But I will answer from the founder or business owner point of view, and link it up with the marketer or salesperson point of view. Then, but in terms of maybe how you want to set your targets, of course I don't have control over that. But then again, of course, it's also important to set realistic target. That's the only thing I can say. And why it's important to set realistic targets is, if your team members consistently perform low, it affects their motivation. And when it affects their motivation, it affects the overall work, it affects the revenue generation. Sometimes, especially for a new team, you need to start with a small target. Give them a chance to meet the targets. Maybe not 100%, of course. It's not always easy to meet 100% of sales targets. But let's give them a chance to meet like maybe 65, 60, 70, 80% of the target. If they do that consistently, say 1 month, 2 months, you can increase the target. So you take them gradually and you encourage them in the process. So you don't take somebody from 0 to 100. Even experts in automobiles will tell you that when you put on your car engine in the morning, you give it some time and you allow the air to circulate before you accelerate. you know I could think of other examples where it has to go from slow to steady. I During my school days, I did my IT in Dangote Cement, the one at Obajan and Kogi State. There is this part of the plant that we call clean. That is what makes the actual cement, but it comes out like in form of a stone. Call it clinker before it's now grinded into the powder. That clean reactor, the chemical that clean reactor, it takes 24 hours to power it on. Let's say it was down and you want to start it up, it takes 24 hours to start it on. And if you want to shut it down for maintenance of any reason, it takes 24 hours to shut it down. So sometimes this thing just have to be gradual. You can new product, give outrageous targets, everybody's demoralized, nobody meets the target, you sack them, you hire new people, you rinse, you recycle. That's how much I can say on the target. And in terms of new products, if you are launching a new product into a market where there are already a lot of players, then your assignments this industry having no differently. Sometimes you just if they are just grab customer from customers. Because exactly the same thing already. Nobody's going to leave any of those guys to patronize you, except your family members and your friends. So let's say, which industry do I want to give as example now? Let's say insurance industry. There are already a lot of players that you want to come in. You do your research, you check, okay, what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing? How can I do it better? You can do questionnaires, go into the streets, ask people that are using insurance, what are your challenges with using insurance companies in Nigeria? Get real feedback from the market. From that kind of feedback, you might find a pattern. So maybe across the 10 companies, maybe across 5 or 7 of them, there's a particular thing that the customers are complaining for. You can fix that thing and you launch your own product in the market. So that becomes your unique value proposition that you can use and draw customers to your product. Then lastly, which also still kind of part of what I already said, you when you want to say to somebody, you try to find out their pain points. If I'm using Access Bank and you're a Zenith staff and you're coming to sell me Zenith Bank app, Zenith Bank, I should come and Zenith Bank. So the question is, I can open an account in Zenith Bank. No, but if you ask me the right questions, you might get to find out that okay, maybe I don't actually need to leave Access Bank, but maybe I have a need for another account. So maybe I want to be doing online payments, and maybe my Access Bank allow me to I just pay that. And you'll be like, oh, in Zenith Bank, that's a very easy thing you can do. Come and bank with us. You ask questions to uncover pain points. And if you are lucky enough that or two of the pain points you've uncovered, your solution is solving it, then jackpot. At that point, it's not the customer that will be even running after you, and not you running after the customer. But the problem just want to say their features. Sir, yeah, with Zenith Bank, you can do mobile transfer. With Zenith Bank, you can open savings school fund for kids. With Zenith Bank, you can do. Hey, madam, Access Bank already doing those things for me now. So why are you disturbing me? They are listing features that Access Bank is already giving me. But if only you ask the right question, I might be able to tell you what Access Bank is not giving me. And if your Zenith Bank can give me that, then you sell that particular one to me. So I hope I've answered your question anyway. Let
Yeah,
me stop.
thank you so much. Yeah, I think my take from that is when you said ask questions that answers the pain point of the customers. All right. So thank you. Fortune, do you have any question before we round up? All right. So in the absence of question, I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Ogona. Thank you for the sacrifice you had to, make to be here tonight. And I'm so glad um, that you are here to teach us this tonight. We have actually gained clarity, and I believe those that will be listening online or those that will be watching the replay later on, they will have so much to learn from this session. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the valuable knowledge you have shared with us tonight. All right. In a way to round up, um, so tonight we learned about growth. We learned about go-to-market strategy, and we learned about customer acquiring, what the questions you need to ask yourself as a founder before you put out your product and all of that. So we have learned all this, and I believe every one of us that attend this session tonight have gained clarity in one way or the other. So I just want to say thank you to everyone on this call and those that will be watching later. Thank you for taking out time. And the link to the expert will be shared on on the YouTube page so that you can book a session with him after going through the session. All right. Thank you. So we'll meet next week for another session. That will be next month, right? So we'll meet next month for another clarity series. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ugona. Thank you so much. Good night.
Welcome.
And
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night.
to Fortune, thank you. Good night.